I have the key to a 2019 Porsche 911 Targa 4 GTS. I'm going to drive it and give you my impressions.
Be sure to log into your YouTube account, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a video.
The 991 generation of the Porsche 911 proved that Porsche didn't stumble upon the greatness that is the 997 generation. The company took what made that car great and improved upon the formula. The 991.1 generation was released in 2012, and the Carrera S was the first model to hit dealerships. It sold alongside final year 997s as the company transitioned its venerable sports car to the new chassis. In 2017, the 991.2 was launched, the generation to which this Targa 4 GTS belongs. It may look like the pre-update model, but lots changed, notably the powertrain, which we'll cover shortly. A perusal of Bring a Trailer auction results shows that the 991.1 and .2 generation have a wide spread of sale prices, depending on model variant, condition, and miles. The 991.2 Targa 4 GTSs, like our test car, regularly sold for more than $100,000 in 2023, usually closer to $150,000. That's a lot of money, but it can be argued that Porsche doesn't make cars like the 991.2 anymore. Sure, the 992 might be bigger, faster, and better, but we bet many people gravitate to the 991.2 because it's smaller and offers a slightly more visceral driving experience, though any 991.2 is still a very quick sports car. When Porsche launched the 991.2, it brought with it a whole new approach to the 911. The naturally aspirated flat 6 was replaced with a twin turbocharged flat 6 in all but the GT3. That meant more power and, more importantly, a lot more torque. The 991.1 Targa 4 GTS made 430 horsepower at 7,500 RPM and 325 pound-feet of torque at 5,750. Quite a peaky power delivery. The 3-liter twin turbo in GTS form made 450 horsepower at 6,500 RPM and a massive 405 pound-feet starting at 2,150. Think about that. 80 pound-feet of torque more than the NA 3.8, and it hits 3,600 RPM earlier. This Targa 4 GTS has a fair number of options, most notably Carmine Red paint, SportDesign Package, natural leather interior and Espresso, PDK, 14-way power sport seats with memory, rear axle steering, and the premium package. Read the full list in the description. Another fun fact about this car is that it's been to every single Porsche parade since this owner bought it new.
All right, we are driving this Targa 4 GTS today, and I'm excited because it's fall. I'm gonna put the top down in a second, and yeah, this is kind of a fall weather, spring weather driver's car with the hard top that folds back into the hatch, but which retains this Targa bar like the old school 911 Targas. So not quite a cabriolet, but almost there. And if you like hard tops for your convertibles, then the Targa or Targa 4 and GTS model especially will probably be right up your alley. So what we have here is a different front fascia and rear fascia with a bunch of matte black trim, which Porsche says makes the car look a bit sportier. On this particular car, you'll notice that the rear spoiler has a little lip to it. That was optional. That's sort of like a mini ducktail, which caught my eye and I think looks really handsome, but not a part of the standard GTS package. So when you get a GTS, you're getting basically all the sporting equipment that you could option on a Targa 4S, but you get it at a relative discount. It's a little bit cheaper to buy a Targa 4 GTS than to get a Targa 4S and then option it up to GTS levels. We have sport exhaust. The 3-liter twin turbo flat 6 makes 450 horsepower, which, let's remember, that is nearly 911 GT3 RS levels from back about 10 years ago. So this also has a lot more torque being a twin turbocharged engine, and basically very cool car to drive. Now before we start, I'm going to put the top back because it takes a little bit longer and I don't think I want to do that when I'm driving. It's a really elaborate sort of thing. And we have some B-roll of the top going down from a little bit earlier as well. Yeah, it's this big spindly body panel that basically folds up, the top goes back in, and you're good to go. So there we go, auto stop start. Right now, since we have PASM and the Sport Chrono package, we have normal, Sport, Sport Plus, and individual. I'm gonna start in normal in automatic mode. So the Targa 4 GTS is not a lightweight car because of the roof mechanism, but you know, as I start driving this, it definitely feels like a lighter car than it actually is. So I'm going to put the sport exhaust, or I'm going to put it in manual first. We have 8-speed PDK transmission, or 7-speed, I think, actually. Yeah, and when you're just driving it at first in normal mode without the sport exhaust, it's loud. You definitely hear the engine, but let's try sport exhaust now. Yeah, a little bit louder. A little bit louder, not crazy loud, but I'm betting that once we start driving a little bit, this will be, might get a little bit of pops and bangs. We'll see here. Very nice car. I'm gonna put it into sport, which keeps the exhaust on and stiffens up the PASM shocks. Yeah, nice quick shifts. I love how modern and quick shift, oh, there are the pops and bangs right there. I love how quick shifting and seamless PDK is nowadays. You know, it wasn't that long ago, 2009, when Porsche introduced PDK to its cars, yet it was such an amazingly quick shifting transmission and seamless, or so I thought. But progress has marched on, and we have a PDK transmission that puts the old ones to shame. And the 991.2 generation, this 2019 model, still feels super modern, almost exactly like the latest PDKs in the 992s. So the 4 in Targa 4 GTS means it's all-wheel drive. Yeah, this sounds great. Now I'm gonna put the windows down, actually, see if I can't hear a little bit more there, and I'm gonna put it into Sport Plus. Sport mode, the suspension didn't seem to be all that harsh, actually. Sport Plus mode, you can tell it's a little more jiggly, but we're on a smooth road. Brakes are very nice and progressive. These are the steel brakes, or I should say iron discs. Yeah, love these brakes. They're super easy to modulate. Engine sounds great. Yeah, in Sport Plus mode, just like in other 911s, it definitely shifts faster and gives you a little bit of a kick in the pants when you do that upshift. Now I'm gonna put the windows back up just in case you can't hear me as well with them down. Now let's put it back into manual mode and see what sport, or automatic mode, and see what Sport Plus does. Shift it down there for me. It's keeping the revs. It just upshifted. Just downshifted for me. Yeah, real nice. I think PDK can pick gears just as well as me around these corners. Probably better. I'm gonna keep that sport exhaust on because why not? It's not super intrusive, but yeah, you hear it pretty well when you're really on the throttle or coming off from higher revs. Yeah, no pops and bangs right there. So this doesn't seem like the type of car that's gonna pop and bang for you every single time. Now back into manual, because why not? Oh yeah, PDK shifts a lot harder in Sport Plus in this car, even at part throttle. Perfect downshifts. Really stable feeling car. Yeah, that's a great noise. Yeah, these twin turbo flat sixes, you can't hear actually the turbo noises all that much. You know there's a turbocharger. There's still some turbo lag and I guess the boost threshold. You know, let's see actually. I'll be in 4th gear, 2,000 RPM, and yeah, 3,000 RPM is when you really start feeling the boost. I know it comes in a bit earlier, but yeah, very nice turbocharged engine. Very responsive. A lot of torque. So I feel like the 992 Carrera GTS Cabriolet America Edition that I drove yesterday, actually, it feels a bit more manic, and I'm wondering if it's just a bit lighter weight because it doesn't have all-wheel drive. But this is a super fast car, but it feels really controllable, and it doesn't feel like anything's gonna step away from you, even when you're getting onto the throttle pretty hard. Thank the all-wheel drive system for that, most likely. Very nice car. This car feels very sporty, definitely feels a little bit more like a cruiser than some other GTS models that I've driven. I'm not sure if that's because I'm not driving the GTSs back-to-back or not, but it definitely doesn't feel like it has the super hardcore edge, maybe not super, but the fairly hardcore edge that the GTS models have that aren't Targas. And you know, I might just chalk that up to, I believe Porsche has slightly different suspension tuning for the Targa 4 GTS compared to the other GTS models because of how this car will be used, and because of it's a little bit heavier with that heavy top. But basically, really great car. Can attack a back road really well, yet be a pretty amazing cruiser when you want it to be. So GTS doesn't mean you're going to be rattling your teeth out over bumps when you're in Sport Plus mode. So on to our scores. Car show. Targa 4 GTS, Carmine Red. It has the SportDesign front fascia, this optional rear ducktail on this particular car, small ducktail, and all those black accents. Very nice, sporty looking car. Targas you don't see quite as often as cabriolets and coupes, and you know, if you have if you're at a car show and you put the top up or down, or even maybe stop it right in the middle, and that's how you park the car at the car show, you're going to be attracting some attention. No, it's not a GT car, but it's very special. It's a little more rare than you might see on the road from a 992 generation 911, and it just has really cool tech, and you just really have to wonder, how did Porsche make that roof work so well? So for car show, yeah, I think this is a solid 8.25 for car show. Might score a little bit lower if it weren't a Targa 4 GTS. But yeah, 8.25 for car show. So daily driver, you could definitely daily drive this. It has all the pluses or advantages of a 911, including plenty of storage in the front. You still retain the back seats with the Targa 4 GTS, just like the Cabriolet. And suspension's great. You could daily drive this, especially with PDK. You can leave it in automatic. Car feels almost just like a torque converter automatic, or put it into manual, and you're almost doing everything yourself when it comes to shifting gears. So it can go either way. Daily driver, I would call this a 8.25 daily driver. You know, it's a Targa 4. You could drive it in the snow if you wanted to, fit some snow tires. And probably much easier to live with than a Cabriolet model during winter months if you don't live in, let's say, San Diego or something like that, or the southern U.S. Road trip. Targas score well in road trips traditionally because they are kind of a perfect road trip car because they retain the advantages for the most part of having a hard top, because it is a hard top, maybe not quite a coupe, but it is a hard top. So the sound insulation or sound deadening, the sound that enters the cabin is very reasonable. And of course you have all the storage that benefits taking a friend or partner and their luggage on the road trip. And of course which is the case with a lot of Porsches, they do well on the drive to your destination, but also while you're at your destination, it's a fun car to drive. This would be a great car to take to Porsche Parade. You'd be fairly comfortable driving there, and you'd have a lot of fun on the back roads while you're there. I think certainly more so than if you took a Panamera or a Cayenne. So I'm going to call this an 8.5 for road trip. Now, fun factor. This is a fun car, but it doesn't have that hard edge. So I guess it depends on what you think is fun, right? If you want something that is going to be handling on rails and you want maximum performance, but you don't want a GT3, you might go with the coupe Carrera GTS. If you want the advantages of having a cabriolet, but also a hard top over your head, and don't mind a little bit of performance decrease compared to the coupe, this could be the perfect car for you. It's a lot of fun on a back road. As I said, it didn't seem to have that really tough edge, you know, that real sporting intention that you can feel in some other GTS models I've driven, in particular some of the newer 992 generations. But certainly this is going to be a really capable car on the back road. Very stable with all-wheel drive. Not my favorite back road car that I've driven recently, but if cruising is your mode of enjoyment out of your Porsche and you like to have a little bit more handling prowess, then that was the auto stop start here, a little bit more handling prowess, Targa 4 GTS might be the perfect car for you. I'm going to call this an 8.75 for fun factor. It's the kind of car that's going to fit the needs of a wider range of people, perhaps, than what a Carrera GTS or Carrera Cabriolet GTS will do for you. That's my review. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you want to see more reviews like this, which air from now until the end of 2023 every single Saturday. Until next time.